Alright, so this is fine. We can still get our toad value. We play a Dagon. Go Dagon. Play this range so the toad consumes it. End our turn here. This comes back. We go Harpy. Harpy has bonded. We consume Dagon. Go leader. And yeah. So today we're going to be playing some Deathwish. You really want to try and get some use out of Dagon. So as far as Dagon goes, I guess we'll talk about him real quick here. So he's got the Doomed, deploy and fuse 5 units to your deck with Deathwish, boost the lowest power allied unit by 2, and worship Dagon, and spawn Call the Depths in your graveyard. He has an order consume when you play a Deathwish deck boost or Deathwish unit boosted by 1. So basically here, if you're playing him this form, you're putting some points into your deck with these Deathwishes, and then you're spawning Call the Depths, which after he's been worshipped 4 times, it brings Dagon Promised back. So it's a lot of carryover that way, right? You've got 10 points in your deck, and then an 8-point consume card coming back. So it's 18 points of carryover, plus the engine value. So that's potentially good. However, the Dagon Risen's really where it's at a lot of the time. If you can get his counter up without him being locked or killed. So at the end of the turn, increases counter by 1, so he comes down with 1 counter, then you end your turn, it goes to 2. So after 1, you'll always get this one. Spawn the lowest power bronze Deathwish unit, or summon it from your graveyard to your row. It's usually going to be a Harpy Egg in this deck. Then you have boost all allied units this row by 1. This one's okay. It usually is like 3 or 4 points, because we're consuming a lot of our cards, unless you're spawning stuff. You got Storm on the opposite row. That's usually about 3 or 4 points a turn too. The opponent might play, if you're playing this, you're going to play like Cave Troll, Dagon, and they're not going to play in the opposite row, because they know this is going to happen. So this one doesn't always get that much value. And this just does 4 points of damage. And here's the good one. Spawn a base copy of self in your hand. Now you can make an infinite combo with this. If the opponent doesn't interact with you and you use like Arrakis Queen Nabayas, you can get a Dagon Promised every single turn. And that's just like infinite points and infinite card advantage. But really the card advantage is really good from this. So you get the extra one. So this is the effect you really want to be going for. But we might try out the first one as well, just because I haven't really tried playing the Dagon in the Promise form very much. And there is a lot of carryover to it. I think it'll depend on the matchup, but we'll try it out at least once, I think. As far as the rest of the deck, though, we do have the Haunt. We have the Urn of Shadows, naturally. We have Brewer's Ritual. I tried a version with Ruin. So where's the buffed Ruin here? Where is he? There he is. So yeah, he's got this Deathwish, summon self to your melee row, consume your lowest power unit, excluding self. So it gives you 3 points if you consume him instead of consuming your other cards. I just found this really awkward because we are running Were-Rat and the lock spawns the rats. It was just hard for him to always be hitting Deathwish cards. And sometimes we didn't want to play him because he consumed our only card or something. So I think Ruin's good. It just wasn't working out when we played it. So I cut him for now. And instead I added in the Haunt by cutting on Neuromancy. So we've got the Haunt now. So that's a nice advantage. It should help out quite a bit. So then the Brewis, which is what we want to use the Urn of Shadows on. We do have Detlef with the Arrakis Queen. If you want Arrakis Queen Dagon Risen, if you can't, or you can use Dagon. Say you use Dagon early round 2 because you're trying to get a carryover duplicate copy of Dagon into your hand for round 3, like you're bleeding round 2 and you play Dagon, and you're trying to get a card advantage that way. You can use the Detlef and Arrakis Queen round 3. Then we've got the Royal Decree, Cave Troll, the Lock. The really nice thing about Lock is that Dagon is your highest power unit, so if you use the Lock order, it stacks Dagon to the top of your deck, which is really handy. And then if you do have your Dagon, the next highest power thing is Cave Troll, so Lock stacks your Cave Troll, and you've got your combo set up, which is really good. Then we have the Were-Rat, it's just a consume engine, it's really nice. If you've run into a lot of Tall Punish, it can be bad if you consume too much with Were-Rat. Ideally, you just put them next to a Succubus, and then the Succubus keeps coming back. We've got Maxi here. This is a 5 fusion slot for whatever you want. I opted for Maxi for a little bit more consistency. So you can also, by the way, instead of the Lock, if you want, you can play the Whispering Hillock for another tutor card. It gets everything in the deck that you want except for like Were-Rat and Cave Troll. Then we have the 2 Bargus here. You could play I played a Cyclops before. I think the Bargus is probably better because the 2 consumes. It helps a lot with Succubus to have the second consume. We have the 2 Succubi here. And then with the Lock is really nice. It gives you a lot of value. especially if you're going to a long round 1, like a long round 1, because you want to win round 1 so your Dagon evolves, and you can try and do something with him round 2 if you want. And the Succubi at the end of round 1 are really handy if you can have them. And the Sirens, the Toads, Harpy Egg, the Solano Harpy. This could be a Slizzard if you want. I just found with Slizzard that it always died and it wasn't really useful. Same thing for Desert Banshee. But so you really want like a deploy with the consumes now, unless you're at like 5 or 6 power, or more like the Bargus, which has that deploy with it. So we're running the Harpies. 1 Fog is the highest value Bronze Deathwish. That's 4 provisions. A Peller, just in case we need to purify our Dagon once, healing to it 1 time, and then 2 Dragon Warriors for more consumes. And that's the deck. So overall, let's see what we can do. I've tried this out a bit, made some changes. Hopefully this version does pretty well. Dagon himself is very strong, but he can also be countered. So we'll see how this goes. And other decks probably have a better long round than us. But you know what? Let's just go see into some games and see how it actually turns out here. Looks like we have Carapace. If this is going to be a Keltalus deck, that would be very annoying. It's worth noting that we took out most of the control cards like Maruna, Manticore, and Gregory of Vol to fit in Dagon in this deck, so we don't have control tools. It's worth mentioning that. We really want to be finding our... I guess we can get the Brewis with this. I have a feeling it's playing Keltalus. We just want a lot of Deathwish cards. This might work. Interesting. That is one way to keep your Slizzard alive. That is one way. I don't think we want to... Do we want to pressure? We want to win this round 1. Because you could also be playing a Dagon deck. We could just pressure with Haunt. Let's pressure with Haunt. We can get the double Succubi going if we want to get this round. So we're going to hold off and be careful with Decree. Because we want this to... Well, we want a Decree for Brewis, and we want that to give us a Succubus. We have a lot of our Bronze Deathwishes in our hand, right? So we've got one of these and 1 Succubus. So we will get the Succubus because we only have those 2 options in our deck. What do you consume? His own Succubus? That makes sense. Let's go Brewis here. Where is she? So we can consume with this guy. We'll consume this. I don't want to consume the Siren, because she has the order to consume, which will be useful. We'll consume her next turn. I think we'll play our Foglet then. We're not going to be able to use our Bargist order. Yeah, we're not going to be able to use the Bargist order. Okay, so he's going to get the Ruin going, which is nice for him. So, if we can set up a nice little short line of guys here for Were-Rat and then drop Were-Rat near the end of the round, I think that would be very helpful. So we'll drop this egg here. The next time we can drop the Were-Rat and I'll trigger like 3 of these guys. If he plays a big tempo card, right? Because so far he has not played a big tempo card. So we'll play this Siren. The next turn we play Were-Rat. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, so he does have the double Succubus going now, which we also have, or we could have. It's a really big ruin. Imagine if we had a manticore here. That'd be insane. But we don't. Yeah, I think we just start doing the same thing as him.
I'm just a sexy little fucked up machine called life. I don't have a dirty mind.
It would have been better if I came back in the other row, but what are you gonna do? Even if we had a reset, he'd be in so much trouble. I think we'll play Were-Rat this turn, and then go Toad next turn.
It's not that I'm
So we'll play our Were-Rat. It'll consume these 3. And we'll consume the Succubus, and hopefully, yeah, we'll just do this. Were-Rat will consume automatically a couple cards, give us good value. We still have a Toad we can play here. I think the reason I'm concerned and played Haunt here is I think he's going to try and set up some big Dagon combo with the Carapace, but we don't want him doing that. I mean, that makes sense. You get some good consumes here. It also means you can't use Succubus later, because you played both here, and then you got one from... and the lock didn't make one. Which means we don't have to worry about Succubus later, but we can use ours later. So we'll play Toad. Consume this.
We're not done if you can still walk.
Do we go up 2 cards? Potentially. He plays a card, so he'll have 6 cards round 3. If he's going for an infinite Dagon combo, he would then have... to play Dagon first. I guess if we... Okay, I guess that's a win. As I say, he could still do an infinite Dagon combo, but then it would be exposed. Mobilization. I've seen a couple of these. Definitely need our round 1. Okay, we have Arrakis Crew, which gives us a lot of options, but no Haunt. Let's see here. We really don't have that many Deathwish cards. So like this will get us Brewis, which means we do want a few consumes. Put this back. I guess we have Brewis. Let's keep... I mean, we have all of our good cards. So we don't really need the maxi, except for the Haunt. Place that with a better consume card, I guess. Yeah, good old mutagenerator stuff here. Good old mutagenerator. We have 4 Deathwish cards in our deck, so we could potentially Arrakis Queen Brewis Ritual to get all of them. I don't really want to because I'd rather use this on Dagon or Detlef. Let's just start with Were-Rat. If Were-Rat's out, we can potentially save a leader charge from our Brewis Ritual. And at 5, he can't, like, hit it with Boiling Oil or something. Or at 6, I mean. Yeah, this is the deck we've seen quite a bit of. We don't need to play this because it's in our hand.
I'm just a sexy little cog in a fucked up machine called life.
We're going to need our Succubi this round. probably, you're probably going to need them. This would make 5 rats.
You wouldn't want to hurt her, would you?
Just spawn the rats. You don't want him being too big.
This medallion, dear Majesty, a symbol of my affection for you.
Alright then. I think we'll use our debt left this round. I wouldn't want to, but I think we need it. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to keep up. And then next turn, we will play. I guess we'll play our Arrakis Queen because we need to win this round. There's the Reavers, everyone's favorite card. I haven't seen too many of the Reavers actually. Just seeing decks spamming the Arbalist. Display the Arrakis Queen, consume the Detlef. Consume the Arrakis Queen. It's a very big were-rat. Okay, so it's a Nova deck. It's been true for most of these Mutagenerator decks lately. These are keep hitting our were-rat, which is good. We'll play a Barghest here. Make a couple more rats. Okay, so we do win this round 1 on even, which is really good. That's the nice thing here is these decks tend to not have a big punish to the were-rat. Would have been really annoying here if we did have the 4 Persian guy who spawns more copies, but it ends up we actually get that round. We have our Dagon Risen. Got Dagon Risen and Haunt. It's interesting. If we get the bonded copy here, that'd be really good, but I don't think we want to try for that. We got all our good cards. We don't need this. Peller could be good. We'd really want one of these two, though. One of these two would be really nice. Let's put this back. Get a Toad. Interesting. We actually don't have 2 Deathwish cards to trigger Haunt with. Unless we get Dagon to our hand. So we'll start with that. We'll just try Dagon, and then we'll hold Haunt for round 3 if we need it. We want him to lose his mobilization, and we want him to use a bunch of his boosted cards.
Shit, I knew it. I told you so, you idiot.
The thing is, we have a bunch of consumes and no death wishes, so we're gonna want to like just play Peller early. Let's see what this is. We can consume these guys. Okay, so he does get the Idarid and something can play, which is very good for him. Very, very good for him indeed. I think the best thing here to do is use the Toad and consume this, so we can't head and Gate Sword it if he's running it. Yeah, there's the Reavers. Potentially dangerous. Potentially dangerous. Let's play our Barghest here. Zoom this. It'll take some damage instead of our Dagon and our Cave Troll.
We're the Crinfrid Reavers.
We're just gonna try and get another Dagon and then go to round 3 here. Because with all these Reavers, he's gonna win this round with the Yadarin. If he didn't get the Yadarin off of his... what's in our graveyard? The Vernon Roches looks very different. Keep in mind, he still has a Golden Necker.
Left, right, left, right.
It's a lot of damage. Lot of damage. Just play a random Purify here. Just remove Dagon's Doomed. It doesn't help us because we don't have a way to renew him. But you never know. The Storm from Dagon will actually be quite good. So we'll consume this. I think we'll pass next turn. We'll pass here. He still has Golden Necker and he still has Mobilization. But we have double Last Say. It'll be interesting. Now, what we're really looking for here is a Succubus. Would really like one of those. This is nice to have double Harpies. We need a Succubus. Perfect. We'll go with this. And this round should be really good. We gained a card advantage with Dagon. We have our Haunt. We got the Succubus going. Got the Bonded Harpies. We should be able to do something here. Got Mobilization on these. That is interesting. We're going to lose the Banshee. Keep in mind, we do have Toad. So we play a range, we get consumed. Still has this Golden Necker. There it is. There's the Hengaith Sword. So he has a ton of damage. Ton of damage here. We still have the Toad, which gives us a consume. Dagon's gonna die with 2 counters. Unless we get him to play his cards first.
I don't have a dirty mind. It's not that I'm always enemy. It's you who's always...
All this stuff's gonna die, but Succubi will come back.
But we're broke as shit peddlers.
You'll see he has a squirrel in his hand. That'd be really bad for us. Yeah, we just consume with a Harpy here.
Relax.
Any can join the Order's ranks, be they peasant, noble, or even witcher.
Alright, so this is fine. We can still get our Toad value. We play a Dagon. Go Dagon. Play this range so the Toad consumes it. End our turn here. This comes back.
We're not done if you can
We go Harpy. Harpy has bonded. We consume Dagon.
I shall never be alone.
Go Leader. And yeah. We have way enough points to finish this game. Okay, Enslave could be a problem.
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with you.
We 100% do not want him taking our Dagon. That'd be like the worst possible thing that could happen here. And he could take our Defender too. It is Enslave 5 though. So he has a ton of tactics. Tactics are really scary because stuff like Treason can hit Dagon behind Cave Troll and such. So I'm wondering if we just use Dagon for the Worship Dagon in this matchup. Probably wouldn't be the worst idea. Because I don't think against Enslave we're going to get it off. Do we have a way to get Brewis? No, we don't. We don't have really a way to do anything. So, that's awkward. Just play Maxi, I guess. Haunt's there. This is fine. Trying to think, because we could have... Can play Dagon, but he's not amazing. We don't have any control for that. I'm trying to think what we can earn of shadows, because I don't... It would have to be something from Locke. Or Arrakis Queen, because we do have her. We could Arrakis Queen Dagon, or Detlef round 1 if we need to. It's probably not a bad idea. But then again, he is enslaved, so we can just seize the Detlef, which means we need Were-Rat out. Were-Rat could consume this and be really big. But I don't want to go tall because then he might have Invocation because he's got the 5. Of course, that means it dies then. So we're going to use Dagon, not the evolved form, I think. Should we take Cave Troll this here? We're going first, though. I mean, if he enslaves our Detlef, this does banish, which is a problem. But he played it here, which probably means he doesn't... I don't think you hold the second. So we'll play this. And I don't think I don't think he'll enslave it. Unless he's playing a Damien deck. And he won't banish, I don't think, because I don't think you have a second one of those. We'll see if he does seize it here. He does not. Okay. Which means we should win this round with Arrakis Queen. That's really good. Maybe we'll try and use the Dagon Risen then. I was thinking he was going to take our Detlef, because that removes our Urn of Shadows, because we get no points then. It removes the Detlef, and it removes the Arrakis Queen. So it would have been so bad for us if he'd taken it, but he didn't. Well, it's a good thing he played that before we do this. Get some giant toad carryover going. I guess by doing this, we tell him we don't have the Indraga Warrior. So we get a win there in that round. That's really good. And we do have Cave Troll Dagon. I don't think it'll work. But we could try. Could try for it. We have Haunt, though. Haunt's pretty good. We do want this Succubus, though. And Brewis still. What we put back? Probably this, because it can come... this is double consume, though. I'll put this back. Let's play Haunt. We'll go Haunt, Cave Troll, Dagon. Because he has Heat Wave, he probably hits the Haunt with it. So he probably is playing Damien. Play the Cave Troll then. Hefty Helga. Interesting. So we go Damien, or we go Dagon, and then we don't consume him with the Barghest. I guess we get to consume this instead, but whatever. And this way we're playing around Treason. Can't Treason because we played the Cave Troll over on the side of the Haunt. Can't hit our Dagon. That's really important to play around against these decks. So there's the Vilgefortz. Oh, that's nice. He's going to seize that. You should seize it. If you don't seize it, you might have a problem. Okay, he's not going to seize it. Interesting. Interesting. Well, here's the problem. We can't have him seizing Dagon, which he will do next turn, so we have to consume Dagon now, because we don't get our Dagon points. That is a problem. Because he 100% will seize the Dagon next turn. Then he's got Dagon going, and we cannot have that. So Dagon has to disappear. I guess the best way to do that is just go... Yeah, we'll just Toad. Let's do that. We do have one Succubus now. We can get a second. That might be enough here. We don't have that many consumes, though. He probably has a Stefan Skellen as well. He's going to seize the Succubus. That's a good choice. We get that one off the lock, though. Probably going to play Damien. I've seen a lot of Damiens lately. We do have the one Toad in our graveyard still. Let me trigger that for us. That means we need one less consume. That's good. We didn't have that many consumes. I think we'll go for the lock here. Yeah, we'll go for the lock. We'll play a Succubus. And let our Toad eat it. You're up quite a bit, but his Stefan Skellen turn will be huge.
A highly curious case.
I don't have a dirty mind. Just one hell of an imagination.
Did he play ours? 'Cause that's annoying. Yeah, he did. He took ours, so no Succubus round 3. Or even this round, really. He probably has Amnesty, for being honest. We gotta play around Treason still, also. I think this is the play around Treason. It means we don't gotta double consume off the Warrior, but if we put this here, it lessens the Treason value, because he hits it and triggers a Deathwish for us. Good, we got rid of this. So he's gonna kill the this thing for a couple points. What's our biggest card? I think stacking up 5 doesn't help too much. It's not terrible. The thing is, we don't have many Deathwish cards left, right? We've got 1 Succubus, which doesn't do anything, and the Foglet. So we really need 2 Solano Harpies. So I guess it's worth doing this then. Play this here. We're gonna really need the 2 Solano Harpies. We need to bleed all his good cards out still. Not having the Succubi really hurts the long round. That's why we have so many consumes, is to consume those guys. Those girls, I suppose. Okay. Nothing we can do about that. And this doesn't give us enough points, so I have to end here. Yeah, this all comes down to him taking our Succubi. Very unfortunate, but we don't really have great stuff for this round. We just need, basically we need both Solano Harpies here. We're not going to need this consume. This doesn't do much either. We didn't get the Harpies. Not great. I think he's going to win this. Yeah, he's going to win this.
It's not the best. It's you who's always sexy.
Let's make sure there's no spine cards for him to hit with his coup. Maybe that's our best shot if he can't use coup.
My prescription.
Oh no, he's gonna get the Succubi value. He gets 2. That's GG. He can consume 2 here.
Relax.
Suffering ennobles, friend. You'll be a count once I'm done with you.
We're gonna play around the coup anyway, but he's still gonna win just because of this combo he got set up with the Succubus. And we don't get any of them.
What is truth if not an illusion?
You weren't expecting
It doesn't matter we've played around this because it just doesn't, it's not enough points. This Bargus gave him 15. Yeah, you can have a drone, I don't care. Yeah. It was a valiant effort, but we can't compete with the Succubus thing if we don't have our own death. Patricidal Fury Warriors. Probably a bunch of raids. And then, of course, tier. We need a strong round 1. Also, we really like going first here, but we're not. Strong round 1, though, we got a lot of golds here. With where we're at, we're probably set on consumes. 2 Succubus. Really good. Put this guy back. Let's see what he's going to do. It's probably his Highland Warlord right away. Or no, this guy. Yeah, of course. Then we'll play Highland Warlord. I think we debt left this round. Well, we have to see how we'll see how well the Brewess does first. Let's play the Were-Rat. I don't want to use a leader charge on Brewess, especially against this deck where we might need like a double leader round 3 to win the short round. And Were-Rat should be safe at 6. He hasn't played down Highland Warlords yet. We have to be really careful with the Were-Rat though, because he's gonna have a reset on tier. Well, not a reset, but a damage down to difference between its base power and its current power. Of course, he's playing tier early and it's not getting carryover, so that's fine. Because we're going second. If we're going first, it'd give him a way to win uneven. Is it Blood Eagle time? It is Blood Eagle time. Nope, getting slash time to kill the Were-Rat. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's not the worst thing. I don't think he has a banished. We can probably just play Brewer's Ritual and consume it next turn. We might Arrakis Queen the Brewess. That wouldn't be bad. I think we might do that. Just play it. If he has a lock, we can purify it. If he doesn't have a lock or anything, I think we'll Arrakis Queen it here. Okay, he's not going to let us Arrakis Queen. He's just going to trigger it for us. Which, in all honesty, is pretty good. We will not complain about that. These are worth the same value, so it's better to trigger the Foglet first. We have more turns left. There's a Highland Warlord. We don't have many consumes, which means we might have to use the lock for a hybrid. Which I don't like. Definitely gonna play one of these.
We're not done if you can still.
Might play a second, but War of Clans is gonna be really big value. We don't have a lot of consumes. We could play Dettlaff. Go Dettlaff, pass. It's not great. We could Dettlaff, Arrakis Queen. I think we do play him here. I think we do this. Because I don't want to play a second Succubus, because we have the Doomed effect. Man, this card's so good, the Feral Bond. Oh, of course he got another Highland Warlord. Why wouldn't he get another Highland Warlord? That seems really nice. Okay, we'll consume here. We have to go high tempo because of how big this Orphanlands could be. Now we can go for Decree into a Drago Warrior for double consume. This is pretty good. Problem is we'd have to go lock for hybrid to consume again, which isn't the worst thing, because we can still play our second succubus another round. He's gonna need tier, I think. Or he's gonna need like a Heart of Terror or something for this. Yeah, okay, there's the tier. He's gonna go for the resilience. Interesting. How much of War of Clans? It's 2 damage, plus you could use the order first, so 15. That's 17, it gets him to 47. Gets him to 49. That's really close. I think we'll go with the lock and play the hybrid. I thought I got the melee and order on this, or melee and range on this mixed up, so we might get 1 less drone if we play another turn. But I think he passes here. Problem right now is with 5 cards, we can't really Dagon get the 5th one. Though we could draw into Haunt, which would be really good. Even without the card advantage, Dagon's still good. Come on, pass, buddy. So he needs 24. I'm sure he has 24, otherwise he wouldn't have done that. So this is 2. This is a 16. That's 18. Plus 2 is 20. I mean, we need the succubus for later. And having a 2-card advantage isn't bad, so I guess he can have the round. He's got to wait. He's got to do something really big. Like, Heart of Terror is not... He's not the leader, I think. I think he has the leader. Nope, it's 1 point. 1 point, just enough. Still, we have a 2-card advantage. And with a Toad in our graveyard, the tier having resilience shouldn't be too big of a factor, because we still have the order on our location too, as long as we draw a Deathwish card. I'd preferably not Succubus too, because I want to use that round 3. We don't need this Consume. We have Consumes here and here. You might try and 2-0 honestly. Okay, so we just Haunt. We just Haunt, it's fine. Then we'll use this for the carryover effect. Ooh, do we carryover effect? Do we? We'll go Succubus. Succubus is better in a short round. We'll use the Toad.
I'm just a sexy little fucked up machine called life. I don't have a date.
And then we still have we still have a card advantage. To get the Toad back for that extra 4. Still have card advantage. We can't trigger Dagon's last order, but he should still give really good value. 2 Harpies. It's interesting. Not at this point we don't want this. We don't want 2 Barghists. Yeah, we're kind of out of Deathwish cards, other than these Sirens, which would have been good to draw. And no Succubus, but we have Leader and we have a card advantage. Hopefully we can do something with Dagon. Even him just bringing back a Deathwish card is really good in this round. Then we want the Harpies to get their bonded effect for an egg. It should be okay. There's the War of Clans. This would be like a 16, 18.
Resist the Jarl's will, and that's how we'll end you.
Play Dagon. This is gonna die here.
I will not bend my neck for that cripple.
Do we let him trigger our Dagon? I think we do. It's really risky if he has a lock. Do you play a lock in here? I think it's Devotion. It's Devotion, so you'd have to play a lock with... Needs us to be damaged first. So we don't need the Peller.
Living souls in your wake should ne'er dare forget your sake.
He has to kill Dagon, right? If he kills it, he's triggering the Deathwish for us, so we can start playing Harpies. He does have a lot of point advantage over us right now, though, because the War Clans was so big. He still has Fakusha, too. Yeah, there she is. Fabiorn into a raid. So we're going to lose our Dagon. One of the most important things here is the Harpies live. The first Harpy lives so we can get the bonded.
Blood for Svalbard!
Another War of Clans. We lose Dagon here. He didn't have to do that. The raid would kill it. Do we Barghest or do we Harpy? I think we Barghest. So the King Bran, it's going to be not very big. We want this Harpy to live, but what's his biggest... He's have +3 damage. He has not played a Blood Eagle. So these are at +3. Okay, I think we consume this. I think we leader this, so we can't get a Blood Eagle Deathwish or Death Blow if he's holding it. Okay, we block the Death Blow on that too. So we do the Harpy here. I don't think we have enough points. We get one. No, we get one, but yep, you get another point. Nice. I wasn't counting the last 3 from the leader. GG. It's a good thing we boosted those guys there. Get out of the Death Blow. It was a close game. So that's the deck, guys. What do I think about Dagon? I mean, if you can get Dagon to work, he's incredibly good. If you can't get Dagon to work, that's unfortunate. But yeah, we didn't actually try playing Dagon without his evolved form. I'm pretty sure you almost always want to use the evolved form, but the carryover is just interesting on this for the Promised. I want to try it out at some point, but every time you go to try it out, you're like, what if I don't try it out and I get Dagon in my hand? And you know how it is. But yeah, Dagon's really good. Overall, though, the deck, you struggle against locks. We didn't run to like a Nilfgaard Imprisonment deck. Those are a huge pain because they have so many locks and they destroy all your cards, especially the run-free ones. But you can kind of see here, the deck can handle a lot of things. You got good value. The Succubi are very key to later in the game because if you look at your deck, you have very high, well, they're key to one round because you've got a lot of your provisions are in the Haunt, Dagon, Brewer's Ritual, Detlef, and Arrakis Queen. That's like most of the core of your provisions. And you want to be playing a lot of those together sometimes, right? Like you want to play the Detlef, Arrakis Queen, Brewis type of thing the same round. Really want to get Arrakis Queen or Dagon, but we didn't get to that today, unfortunately. And whenever you do it, the people quit. Because they're like, no, I can't beat the multiple Dagons. So as soon as you get that to work, they quit the game. But whatever. Yeah, so that's a thing. So which means in the later rounds, if you're using these guys early, which you kind of want to make sure Dagon evolves. So a lot of the time you are throwing down Haunt and Detlef round 1. Which means that later on you don't have many provisions, which means the Succubi are very, very key. Because if you have only bronzes left, you get really good value from them by just consuming Succubi. So that's why you want that later in the game. If they're getting stolen or banished, it's really annoying. But overall, deck seems pretty good. The changes you can make include stuff like the Whispering Hillock I mentioned. You can cut Haunt if you want to. Ruin, I think Ruin's good. It just wasn't working out for me in the games I was playing him. Because he was just consuming rats, or he wasn't doing amazing. He goes really well with Slizzard, but oh yeah, the other thing with the Ruin is that he ends up getting ends up getting really big. If you're consuming him every turn, you can just end up with this fact: if the opponent kills a unit or two, your Ruin's just going to consume your Were Rat or something, become massive. Well, not Were Rat because you'd have rats out, but if you play a Bargus and it's really big, the Ruin might just start consuming stuff and get really tall. But overall, that deck is pretty good. Like I mentioned, you can change the Decree for Oneiromancy. You'd probably have to cut Haunt. You could run a Gregory of Vol. This Maxi slot could be anything. One Cyclops wouldn't be bad either. Or you could always go with a Artifact Compression if you want that reset lock flexibility. Trying to think if there's anything else I wish I could have. Oh, you can always throw in Roach Knickers too. I'm not the biggest fan of that because it's probably to take out Haunt, and it's more of a round 1 focus. But if you have extra points, provisions, you could do that. But yeah, overall, that's the deck. There's options for it. The Haunt's very difficult to fit in with Dagon. It's just so expensive that I think if you're going to add other cards, you probably would have to cut something like the Detlef. You don't need Detlef, but it's really good, especially because it gives you options, right? If you go to round 3 and you're well, you can always, if you're playing a deck where you have to go all in round 1 and 2, you can always save or have Detlef double leader round 3 for a short round. I just really like having the option of him. And one other card I've seen people cut that I'm not agreeing with is the Lock, because you really want the Succubus. If you have the Succubus round, if you just have the 2 Succubi, right, and then one gets banished, the combo stops. Sure, that's not the biggest deal. The thing that really bothers me with this is you can use the Succubi in more than one round. Long round 1, you can use the Succubi, or long round 2 if you're bleeding, and then you still have them again later on, because you can make a third one. So I really recommend having the Lock in here, especially because it stacks Dagon and then Cave Troll to your deck. I think it's really worth having. I wouldn't cut it. But yeah, that's the deck. You can do what you want. I think the bronzes, there's a lot of options in the Deathwish cards. Let me see if I can find some Deathwish cards real quick here. There's a lot of options. You can run the Night Wraith if you want. I'm not the biggest fan of Arcaspore. Arcaspore and Brewers Ritual, just if you pull both Arcaspores, it's so bad. And it's happened to me more than once. So I don't think you run the Arcaspore. The other thing you could do is add Rotfiend. Rotfiend's interesting because it gives you control. It's random control, so it's not really control, but it's 10 value. You can hit stuff. So that is an option. And if you do want control, you can always put Manticore and Maruna in to catch somebody off guard or steal something. But people tend to play around these more. And like I said, you can have Slizzard and you can have Desert Banshee for consumes. I've just found that you really need to deploy ones because otherwise they die, especially the raid decks. I think that's about it. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Maybe one day we'll worship Dagon with the melee or the unevolved form, but for now, he's gonna rise. He will rise. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. That'll be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Make sure that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And you can check out some more videos over here. And thanks for watching.